So Tom Tom's father was at times not the best father, right?
Sometimes he was an alcoholic and was not home a lot because of his job. And I know that was a challenge for their family.
How do you think that motivated him to become a better father for you?
Well, um, drinking was not something that he was ever um, a big fan of. And in his later years, he stopped drinking anything altogether as far as alcohol because he felt that it was unnecessary and he didn't really care for it anyways. So he just quit. He also was a great dad for us. He was always there for us. He made sure that family time was a priority. And one of the things that he did to make that happen was buying our cabin where we spent our summers with him. And then my mom came up when she wasn't working as a nurse.
So, did you notice something similar in terms of his motivation when it came to other parts of his life, like teaching?
He was always about people and still is. He went out of his way to make people feel comfortable and happy and wanted to be a good role model for them. And I think he did that very successfully.
Okay. So, he was originally in the seminary in Chicago, right?
Right. He was going to be a priest. He went to a high school called Quigley, which was for future seminarians who wanted to be a priest. And I believe he was at Mundelein and St. Mary of the Lake for college. And I think he quit his junior year and went on to get his philosophy degree and then his teaching degree instead.
Do you know what motivated him to change his career and his home?
Um, I think he would have been a great priest, but I think he also realized that um, being a priest might not be what he ultimately wanted. He was dating people when he was in the seminary. I think a lot of the guys did. And um, the majority of them did not go on to be priests. And I think once he kind of made that decision, um, he just realized that being a priest wasn't where he wanted to be. But he was always someone with a very strong faith, and he lived that faith.
Alright. So, what motivate? Or wait, sorry. So after moving, he was an eighth grade math teacher, correct?
After moving, he taught multiple things at Regis for 2 years, and then he got the job here. And he was a fourth grade teacher for a while, I believe a sixth grade teacher, did science and math, and then ultimately ended up teaching eighth grade math, which was something that he was passionate about and really good at.
So over the course of his life, he has met and befriended many people. So do you think that helped him become a better teacher?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think part of being a teacher is being able to work with a lot of people and acknowledge people as the people that they are and just try to help them be better at whatever you're teaching or even just in general. And, through coaching and teaching, he did that and touched thousands of lives, which is pretty awesome. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk negatively about him as a teacher. Most people say he was their favorite.
So were there any students he was really proud of helping?
Yeah. Um, I mean, he's still in touch with several of his students, um, but I know he was always proud of being able to give the struggling students kind of that opportunity to be successful. And students who kind of didn't want to do math or didn't like school, he just really went out of his way to try to make school a good place for them and help them all the way around be well-rounded students and people.
So, I guess then that kind of implies another question. Were there any students that he struggled with a lot?
I think the same students, the hard ones, the ones that don't want to be there, the ones that give you attitude. It's very rare, though, that he would come home and talk about it or be frustrated. I think he was privately frustrated, but I think then he also kind of redoubled his efforts to make things different for that kid.
Okay. So, he and his wife, Mitch, they've been married for how long now?
Since 1968, I believe. So, what are we looking at?
40 and then another 50,
I
about?
think 50 years. Yeah.
So, do you think his
In
marriage.
December.
So, do you think his marriage and his wife have affected him a lot as a person?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They have a great marriage, very open and honest with each other, and true love. And that's really awesome to see.
So, do you know what he thought was his best achievement or his greatest achievement?
Obviously, me. No, his kids, and I'm sure his marriage. Um, he was always proud of us and did his very best to make sure that we knew that. He instilled morals in us so that we knew right from wrong and what to do and what not to do. Um, and he was very open about sharing love. Like he always said, I love you when we went to bed, and always made sure if we were leaving the house, he said that, and wanted us to know how much he cared always. He still does.
So, what do you think was his best achievement?
Again, no, I'm just kidding. Um, his whole life has been a wonderful achievement. Um, he's just the kind of person that I think a lot of people wish they could be like, which is pretty awesome.
Right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Um, oh, also, I was going to ask you, do you think there's anything about him that makes him stand out from other teachers and people in the world?
I think his patience and his, uh, well, I guess it goes with patience, his ability to not fly off the handle, which I haven't learned
Get
from
frustrated?
him. Yeah. He was always very patient, and the angrier he got, the softer his voice got. So you had to listen more closely. And you knew he wasn't kidding when that happened. But his kindness always guided him, and his love for people always guides him too. So, I just think there's so many good things. It's hard to list just one.
All right. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Yeah.
And